Bora, your dad worked for Steve Jobs. Tell me what that was like growing up.
Wow. Okay. Getting right into it. Yeah. So he did work for Steve Jobs. I remember, and these are all my words, not my father's. So just putting that out there. So I did get to see Steve Jobs multiple times as a kid in Apple. I would visit my dad frequently, you know, after school and whatnot. Steve Jobs, like when he entered the room, there was a certain aura he brought around him that you knew that something was about to go down at all times. And this guy
And I'm
knew.
guessing not positive.
Usually not. Like everybody was on edge. It was like, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. That's how the whole room would be every time you walked into the room, barring two people. But yeah, anyways, barring two people. Most of the people that saw Steve Jobs were like terrified of him. And you could tell that this guy had such a strong aura around him in terms of he was the boss and whatever he said went, right? So it was just really, and as a kid, I recognized that too, seeing Steve Jobs. I mean, there was this one time in the cafeteria, I was getting a burrito with my dad. And I remember Steve Jobs walked into the cafeteria and he got his meal. He was a very healthy guy. He was eating like salmon and like an apple, right?
Of course. I heard that he also, I remember reading his biography by Walter Isaacson, which
Yeah,
if nobody has read that before, you must
it's
read
amazing.
that and the Musk one. Like
Yeah,
they're brilliant. And I remember them talking specifically about his diet and like there's some kind of like fruit juice smoothie that he would have like all the
yeah,
time. I forget what brand it was, but yes, go on.
yeah. He was a super healthy guy. Very in tune with his health. So, anyways, he had an apple and some like baked salmon or something. And I remember this like one employee who was walking by to back to his office, and so one employee like accidentally bumped into him, didn't like barely even bumped into him, and the employee kept walking, and Steve Jobs just like flipped out and grabbed his apple and like chucked it at the back of the employee's head as the employee was walking away. Of course, he missed, but like it was crazy because everybody in the cafeteria went silent. They all looked and they all just went back to their business. Like no one did anything. They were just like, okay, whatever. And he just like walked away, pissed off to some meeting. So yeah,
Bora,
that.
what did growing up in Cupertino look like for what you are doing now? Where did that fit into your journey as a founder in this world?
Oh wow, yeah, Cupertino. I mean, for people that don't know, I think everybody that owns an iPhone knows like Cupertino is where Apple headquarters is
Of
at, right?
course, designed in Cupertino. And if
Design.
nobody's ever been to that headquarters, by the way, it is a spiritual experience going there.
Amazing.
It is like the most, like when you think about what work Johnny Ives put in to design that place where anyone can go into and the entire building,
Right.
it is mind-boggling the detail that they put in. So sorry, I've got all these like other thoughts alongside of this. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Johnny Ives is definitely a mastermind. I mean, he's with OpenAI now with for equity or something, right? He went over, I believe. But
That's
anyways,
right. That's right. Oh yeah, he's there, and they're designing what they are calling the iPhone killer.
yeah, that's crazy. That's what a plot twist, huh? Anyways, yeah, Cupertino. I would say it's a very competitive place in terms of the three high schools in that area. They're known to be some of the best high schools in the nation. It's Monte Vista High School, Limbrook, Cupertino, Saratoga High School. All those high schools in that area are known to be some of the best and most competitive. My high school particularly had a bunch of tech founders at like 16, 17 years old that are now, multi-millionaires. Some of them own multi-billion dollar companies and they're like my age. Now, back then when I was in high school, I was very competitive, but I was more of a sporty jock kind of a guy. So I wasn't too in tune with like the technical entrepreneurial startup world, although I always heard about things like Y Combinator and these like kids just doing crazy hackathons and whatnot. I just didn't involve myself too much in that, but I always did like internships and I was in the technical realm. But just seeing all that, I think kind of primed me to be a super competitive guy. And then as I got older, and of course I took like computer science and in high school and college and whatnot, it kind of shaped my entrepreneurial brain seeing these kids around me do so well. And I think that's what led myself and Jerry actually to start to work on startups together and eventually get to this point, basically.
I just want everyone to know and understand too. I know Bora really well. I've worked with him and Jerry as co-founder over at Reacher for almost the last year now, and it's been amazing to see them grow. And I was looking forward to having an interview like this for a while. And I don't know. This is super exciting. So for people who don't know what Reacher does, just tell us a little bit about what you've been building, and we're going to get into some interesting. It's interesting you brought up Y Combinator too, because you guys just got accepted into Y Combinator, and you're in that right now, and you're taking 45 minutes or however long out of your day right now to spend with me. What has that been like, first of all, in Y Combinator? Because there are a lot of accelerators out there, right? And Y Combinator is sort of like, the first, for those of you guys who don't know, like Sam Altman was there for the last how many years before
I
he
think about
left?
5 to 8, something like that. He was right under Paul Graham, the founder.
Yeah.
Sam Altman was there right before. I think actually while he was at OpenAI in the beginning, early days. I think he was still at Y Combinator, and then he had to go full into OpenAI. But he was there. Airbnb came out of there. Zapier went through Y Combinator. All these massive companies that we all know today all went through, like DoorDash as well, all went through Y Combinator. So it's a pretty well-known accelerator.
Yeah. I'd love to hear, like, what does the day-to-day look like being a part of an accelerator like that right now?
It changes on a per week basis, but generally the way it's been is myself, Jerry, and our team are in person in San Francisco. Every once in a while during the week, you have meetings with the partners. Basically the successful people that are working with Y Combinator right now that are investing in the companies. So our partner is Andrew Miklas from PagerDuty. So like we'll do like an office hours with him like once a week or something like that. There'll be like some events, some speaker will come in, like Zapier founder came in to speak to us a few weeks ago. The co-founder of Anthropic came in. Windsurf came in to speak. So they'll have like these really higher echelon speakers come in to talk to the founders that like us to give us inspiration and like help us on the journey. But basically, like morning to night, you're at the office working or at home working 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. every single day, and like all you do is, and it's meant to be.
And in person. I also want to I want to tell people, I think that this is really interesting. You guys are in person with each other.
Correct.
And I have to say that this will make this is going to be a sound clip here. Nothing beats being in person.
Nothing.
The amount you can get done in person and that you are able to do being human to human, you cannot replicate being apart. There is nothing like it.
No, 100%. And you're able to see, so the vibes, are very different in person. Like the energy is different. The energy is like you're actually a team, a cohesive unit, and everything is super easy to like communication is, it's like night and day, like our engineering team is right across from me. Usually I have to get on a call. I have to organize like 30 minutes on a calendar. I have to do a Slack huddle. They're not available. I'm not available. Literally, they're right in front of me. I can just tell them like, hey, there's this issue that customer's having. Can you fix it right away? And boom, it's done in like 2 seconds, right? Whereas, remote, it might take a day or two, right? It might not even ever get done. And I think Y Combinator, that's what they really push people to do is come in person and work because they understand the power of in-person time together. And now, like we were a remote first company and now we're shifting to be in person after Y Combinator. We're going to try to get an office in LA and really move everybody into an office and be in person because it's just so powerful.
Tell me about what you are trying to build with Reacher.
Yeah. So I'll touch a little bit on what we have built. So what we have built is we'll call it a platform for TikTok shop sellers and agencies to basically make your creator collaborations more efficient. That could be anywhere from finding the relevant creators, reaching out to them, DM, email, target collaboration if you know TikTok shop and you want to get technical. And then also like managing the relationship with them, running contests, retainers, like all the whole TikTok shop strategy that brands and agencies use to succeed today. We're trying to help automate that flow basically, right? That's what we've built. And it's only on TikTok Shop currently. But what we're trying to build is this like platform, I guess I'll still call it, that enables Amazon sellers, Shopify sellers, TikTok Shop sellers to find and collaborate with the most relevant, the best creators across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and somehow form those collaborations more efficiently in the center and kind of like enlighten and liven up the affiliate programs at Amazon and Shopify because they do have affiliate programs. They're just very sparingly used and talked about. So
affiliate hasn't worked before TikTok Shop. I mean, that's the reality, and that's why that is the only reason that I've gone all in on social commerce. Everyone, like just so you guys know, like I tried to work with affiliates forever. We tried to get affiliate armies going with these in like all of these different incentive structures, and it just did not work. I just want to let everyone know it did before TikTok Shop. It did not work. We are now post TikTok Shop influencer apocalypse, right? Whether influencers know it or not, they are dead, right? Like for products, like it just does not work the same way. And we're on this downward trajectory now where it has to be win-win. So I love that you've seen that. I love that your vision is that big. It's really fun because I've worked really closely with these guys, and this is part of like what I really believe in, right? And why I'm so pumped and why I keep telling people, I all the time tell people, I'm like, Reacher will be the one that will win, right? Of all of them, you are going to be the one that will win. I just have like zero doubt. And I know some of the other guys, obviously, right?
Yes, we do. We all know them very well. Actually, I'm curious for you, Jordan, if I could ask you a question. Have you thought more deeply, seeing the success of TikTok Shop and social commerce on TikTok Shop, have you thought more deeply about how that can extrapolate? Like, I know people are take the content from TikTok Shop affiliates and run it as ads on Meta ad creatives and drive traffic to D2C and Amazon. But do you see like another way to kind of drive social commerce towards Amazon Shopify more directly, I guess? Like, are you thinking about that as well?
Yeah. So what I do know is that the incentive structure has to be mimicked on what has worked on TikTok Shop, because that is worked incredibly well, right? And so we're actually working with, I think that Refunnel and Atif over there.
Yeah.
We're working, and again, like, software that is a must for us to use at Social Commerce Club. One of them is Refunnel, and the reason why is because they're able to actually pay out on ads run on other platforms, specifically on Meta right now. And I know he's building on to YouTube as well, because I think that's going to be really important. But for us to be able to actually whitelist on those platforms and then pay creators either based on performance of ads or number two, on ad spend. And so now you can create it like this, a similar win-win environment. What I think is going to happen at some point, but it's interesting because Meta, just announced that checkouts are no longer happening on Meta.
Yeah.
Right. They're now happening on Shopify, which is insane. So what they said is, we're actually going to get out of social commerce for ourselves. Right. YouTube as well. The checkout is happening off platform. Do I like that? Yes. I think that as a brand owner, that is awesome, because then you own the customer, right? I think that anything that goes towards direct consumer is a good thing for brands, right? And that's one thing with TikTok Shop, right? Is like, you just don't have that data. They're never going to give that up, right? Like, they've built an ecosystem where they don't have to give that up. Right. And so what do I think that it looks like in the future? I think that it's going to be really tight attribution, which is why I love paying on other platforms based on ad spend, because there's just no doubt of what you spent. And so if you are spending $1,000 or $1 million on a piece of creative, it means that piece of creative is working. And so now there's like a direct feedback loop to the creator, and it honors the creator and creates win-win. That's what I think.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're bullish on affiliate model and social commerce external to TikTok Shop as well, it sounds like.
I am bullish on whitelisting as a principle. And so I don't think people think whitelisting is a tactic that you use that might work now. Whitelisting is what the entire internet and social fabric is built off of. I don't think people realize that. The idea of somebody else saying that person is awesome is what this is all built around. What is the most, still after all of these years, Penguin, every single freaking Google update, what is the most important factor on SEO?
Other people's
backlinks.
Yeah. Yep.
Whitelisting is a backlink to your brand, right?
Yeah.
That is why TikTok Shop has been so successful, which is why immediately when I saw what it was, I understood the underlying principle of it. I was like, oh, this is going to crush. It's like whitelisting at scale. That's why affiliate content works better. That's why we have to use tools like Reacher to actually get a hold of people. Now, that's the problem, right? The big problem right now that we all still face as people that are trying to get a hold of creators is actually getting a hold of them, right? And the amount of time that it takes, right? So let's put you up against like Uptick, Yuka, Growy, whoever it is out there, right? For 7-figure GMV brands, where do you win decisively?
7-figure GMV brands. So it's interesting you mentioned that and specifically said 7-figure GMV, because we recently signed on Goalie. So now Goalie is using us, and they came on board and hit us hard with a crazy sprint requirement, right? So as you said,
which I'm sure you were very happy to take, with, the darling of TikTok Shop and being Goalie, right? Like, at least they were the darling for a while here. So
right. They're still mentioned on like every single TikTok Shop call I'm on, right, as a reference.
Of course.
Yeah. So they came to us with a requirement of, they were using a competitor, and they said that they weren't able to match the speed of output. They do these things called sprints. And if you look at their Fastmoss data, like once a month, you can see there's a sprint and there's like a 2x to 3x in GMV right after the sprint.
Interesting. What does Jordan call it, everyone?
Blitz.
We call this the Blitz methodology, right? And it's, again, the reason why it's not life-changing, these sprints and blitzes and all of this, is it is a foundational principle based on creating marketing moments. So of course goalie does that. Like, that doesn't even surprise me in the least bit, Bora.
Right. Yeah. Sprints, blitz, I think you coined the term first, so we can call it a blitz. So they ran a blitz, and they needed to reach out to over 20,000 creators in one day, which is insane because the general limit that us and all other software providers usually have and stick by is like 7.5 to 10K per day that you can reach out to, right? But these massive brands like Goalie want to reach out to every single creator that's ever sold one product or more, one Goalie product or more, right? And they want to send them this like contest, right? To say, hey, whoever posts
the most 20,000 creators have sold one or more for them?
More than 20,000 have sold one or more. Yeah.
Wild.
Which is insane. So they want to reach out to actually like 30 plus K, but we were only able to do 20, which is still insane because that's at least 3 times more than what others can do, right? So it's really, we're pushing the limits on what can be achieved in terms of finding these creators and reaching out to them and making things happen for these like larger brands.
Crazy. On discovery, how do you score and I might be getting this number wrong, 2.2 million-ish creators? Yeah. Somewhere still in there. What signals matter to you the most when you guys are trying to score them? Where does the AI come into all of this? Like, how are you doing that so that brands actually understand how to match and who to match to?
Yeah, so it's really a mix of the data that TikTok provides and also our own AI computer vision models and then rendering. So what we're doing a mix of now is
computer vision. Tell me what does that mean? What?
So, essentially, like if I'm as a human, I'm watching a video, I'm analyzing that video, and my brain is processing and seeing, is this good? Like, how's the lighting? How's the quality of the video? Are they like, is the camera quality good? That kind of stuff, right? So instead of me doing it, we're using AI models to watch the video and act like a human brain and say, is this good or bad, right? Objectively.
That's really interesting. And I wish that I could turn the camera off right now because that's a really interesting thing. Are you going to allow others, specifically me, to tap into that API to be able to use your computer vision that you're creating? Because if not, then you can get off this podcast. Just kidding.
So I guess goodbye. I'm kidding. A lot of people have been asking us about this as of recently, API access into our system. And I think we're willing to offer it to certain partners, but that's not like, we just don't have the bandwidth to do that right now. We're trying to build as fast as we can because that
100%. Right,
that also
we'll take this. This will be a Jordan conversation offline.
Yeah, this will be offline. Yeah, exactly. Under the table. So I think so we're going to use AI models to watch all the videos and objectively score and rate them on a mix of the TNCs from TikTok, like, okay, no guns, no drugs, no alcohol, none of that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If we analyze that a video or a creator is tied to or has that kind of stuff in the video, then that's a no-go, right? And then it's like there's this one brand in the UK that wants like no tattoos or something, right? Now, are you can really have someone in your marketing team go through and analyze every single video and see if they have tattoos or not? I mean, you could. This can be very expensive and probably a waste of their time, right? They could be doing other things.
I think, isn't this an us requirement that we brought to you guys? I'm pretty sure that that's an SEC requirement. We work with, and in the midst of pitching just a lot of publicly traded brands that have certain requirements. So,
yeah. So anyway, the fact of the matter is we're combining a mixture of basically emulating humans watching the videos and deciding if yes or no, this is like quality content. They have certain aspects, like, is it potentially a man or a woman in the video? We're not going to define 100% if it's man or woman, but potentially this looks like a man or woman. Do they have babies? That kind of stuff. And make that available for the brands to use for their filtering.
Interesting. So much deeper than TikTok's filtering options that they will give you.
Yes, correct. Because as a company policy, they have like things that hold them back from defining and going deeper into the creator data, I would say, that we as a third party don't have to, like, we don't have a company policy, right?
So TikTok has find creators and like some native affiliate workflows, right? Where does Reacher outperform that? Like, why would a brand even use? I think that's a question that I get all the time is like, well, let me just like get my VA to do it. And I know I saw you throwing shade on VAs the other day on Twitter, so let's hear it.
Man, that post was not meant for. Anyways, yeah, let's forget that post happens.
No, that's good. Bora, this is the stuff you got to do, man. You got to be controversial out there.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good stuff.
Oh man. Okay. When I am throwing shade at VAs, I mean the VAs that are obviously not capable of like understanding TikTok Shop and not capable of doing higher end work. Like there are some people that work with us from the Philippines and Pakistan that are really smart and really good at TikTok Shop, you know? And those people could even be like brand managers, they could be creative strategists, you know? Like I think we want to give skilled, talented people, regardless of where they're from, the tools they need to succeed and run their strategy that they want to run on these brands back end, right? We want to be able to empower the good people. And when I say good people, I mean people that know what they're doing and have the skills and the strategy and the mindset to get this done.
Totally.
The tools. If there's a VA that's literally just copying and pasting messages, that's not a good use of their time. Like as a human being, that task sucks. So I think tech should do that anyways.
Totally. Nobody wants to do that task. That is not bringing. No one's in flow copying and pasting in between tabs. No. That's not something somebody grows up in their village thinking, I want to copy and paste for a living, right? Absolutely not. That is one thing the robot is going to destroy right away.
Yeah, and I think it should, because then they can go do something out in nature if you're going to be copying and pasting, right? Like, I don't know, do anything else that's more fulfilling and more mentally challenging than that, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by the VA thing.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Thanks for working that out. Bora, just a quick aside here. Have you ever channeled your inner Steve Jobs in your team?
My inner Steve Jobs. I never did before YC. In YC, I have been, which I'm actually proud of myself for doing that, because I've been known as a nice guy. But when it comes down to it, if
you totally are, like you totally have, I have, but I've seen that shift into killer from you in the best possible way.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you've seen it, because that's what I've been trying to let my inner Steve Jobs out in that regard. But yeah, like I would like to think of myself as reasonable. So if I give you a task and tell you how to do it multiple times and it's still not being done, then something's gotta happen, right? So I have kind of let go of my inner Steve Jobs. And Jerry and I both, I believe, like we've become super intense. We're super intense with each other, very transparent with like, if Jerry needs to get his shit together, he needs to get his shit together. He tells me the same, right? It's very just, we're doing it for the benefit of each other, but we don't hold back, right? It's like, if it hurts, it hurts. It sucks, suck it up and just get better,
This is what like radical candor is all about, right? Like a huge amount of like what she talks about in the book Radical Candor is about Steve Jobs, right? And how he was able to do that because his team understood how much he cared for them, right? And how everyone was on the same mission of building what he wanted to build. And he had this vision that he just had to bring. And I think that there are times where that happens. Recently, Paul Graham wrote an article on founder mode, right? Went crazy. Yeah. It was all out there. How does that fit in now into what you were doing at YC and even like these 18-hour days that I see you guys pulling?
Yeah, founder mode. It's funny. In the YC office, when we go, there's founder mode portraits on every level of the staircase. Like when you're going up, you look up and there's founder mode right there. Founder mode everywhere. It's just founder mode. And it's funny because, like Steve Jobs was not the nicest guy. He was very intense and very mean at times, but he always said that our people are our most important asset, right? He realized and he knew that the team at Apple was everything, right? So even though somehow he was an a-hole, he also recognized that and he tried to treat people well and pay them well and whatnot. So I think we take that, and I think that ties into founder mode, because Jerry and I now, we understand that Jerry and I together can only do so much. And we want to empower our team and pay them well and make sure they're enjoying their job, and also have them feel like, and actually truthfully own a part of the company so that they are building it together with us. And if they slide at all, like if they slack off for a day or two or something, then we can really rip into them, because we're like, hey, we're paying you a lot. You have a part of the company, like this is your baby as well, are you gonna let your baby die, right? So it allows you to get a little more intense. And I think I'll just stop there.
I want to bring up something interesting that I heard Taylor Holiday talking about recently. And I bring up Taylor just because he's just such a behemoth in the e-commerce space. And and somebody who I've personally got to have lots of conversations with, and been, we've been on each other's podcasts and been on a very similar sort of trajectory over the years. One thing I learned from him recently in this interview that he did with Andrew Ferris was not giving equity. And it was really interesting, not giving equity to employees, but actually instead letting them buy in at a discounted rate. It has changed my entire mentality on equity, right? So instead of just the sweat earned equity, it's actually bought in. And so it's the pain of writing the check that actually helps you with caring for the baby even more. So it could be at a discount, like a decent discount, but it is, there has to be pain in doing that. I remember my mentor doing that with me years ago. This is like 5 or 6 years ago. He wanted to be a part of a project. He's like, I need a $10,000 check. And I was like, no, we're going to be doing like the marketing and I'm going to be doing that. He's like, no, I need a $10,000 check. Project didn't work out. He gave me the 10 grand back. But I will tell you, I was at every single meeting, and because $10,000 at the time meant a lot more to me, than it does right now. And it was just it's just a really interesting way of like switching that motivation around. And I for anyone out there listening to this, thinking like, oh, what do I do with equity? I really recommend looking into that idea. There is some sort of skin in the game that you cannot replicate in that way. So anyway, just throwing that out there. You can take it or leave it, but I just wanted to throw it out there.
No, that's a great point. I think when people have skin in the game, that's why like investors, when they invest a significant amount of money, I think like who's that guy that invested in WAP and he became like part of their company?
I know who you're talking about, and it's totally off the top of my head.
Anyhow,
right now,
when you invest, when you put your own money into something, like rather than it giving you money, you're like, okay, I have actually invested in this. It's like,
Hermosi was school. Look at what he did. Like the entire launch was around that.
Yes.
Brilliant. Like just what a brilliant guy. And I love that he's like the jacked up sort of like controversial kind of guy, because everyone's like, oh, what an idiot. Yeah. It's like, no, he's probably the smartest. He's like Gary Vee on steroids, right?
Yeah,
like
Mosi's crazy. Did you buy his book from the launch?
So I did not, because the shipping to Canada was like $80 or something. I was like, this is stupid. I'm like, I'm just going to listen to the
podcast.
I'm just going to listen to the podcast version.
That's insane. It costs more than the book. That's crazy.
Which is funny because it's like, okay, who cares? But also I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm not paying that much on shipping. Shipping is useless.
It's a matter of principle at that point. It's not the money.
Exactly.
I get
exactly. You. AI brand manager for creator commerce. What does an agent own versus a human in this upcoming world, and where does Reacher fit into that? Where is that agentic workflow happening, and where's the human in the loop in all of this creator-led commerce?
Yeah. So I still believe for the foreseeable future, like humans are more creative, and like the AGI has not been achieved yet, right? So like they can't think for themselves, the AI. So our brain is still, super creative and can think of new things to try and whatnot. So I think AI agents in social commerce, as we are building them, are still meant to be told what to do by a smart human who wants to try things and analyze. So I think the AI can actually analyze the data at scale. The AI can actually put together creative briefs at scale based off the data and analyze. You can talk to the AI. You should be able to talk to
especially with computer vision, right? Like that's something super interesting because it can ingest more data than any of us can.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, like the AI models have more brain powered data than any human could ever contain in their brain, right? So I think AI brand managers will be there to help you with like P&L. They'll be there to help you with like creative strategy, looking at all the videos that are posted that day about the product, what trends are doing well, what trends are on the come up that haven't done well yet, and you want to catch it while it's coming up. If like GMV Max, for example, if your ROAS is like 30 and you're only spending $20 on it, you should crank that up, right? Like you should have the AI be able to know how to do that. So essentially just having this one human understand, like tell the AI what to do, bring the data back, and just like work with the AI to get these jobs done. And it's still, the human that's in control essentially for the foreseeable future until the AI gets smart enough.
I heard a really interesting interview. I've listened to so many interviews with Mo Gadot. First of all, love Mo on happiness, right? If you guys have never heard Mo on happiness, I mean, it is just like his thoughts on happiness are just incredible. But he is so outspoken when it comes to AI and AI safety. And now he's beyond. He said, no, we're done with, like, there's just no stopping AI. And And I am fully with him. But one of the things that he brought up that I thought was so interesting was that humans of like 200 years ago would look at what we do for a living and laugh and say, "You don't work. You just fill your time with stuff, and like that's fun, but like you don't work. You just like sit on meetings." Like for me, like, you know, a huge amount of the work that I do, basically all I do is meetings.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And that humans will find a way to have purpose, right, in what we're doing to make the world a better place at the end of the day. Let me ask you, I'm going to ask you one final question here, Bora. What's one belief about TikTok Shop or this entire social commerce creator economy that almost everyone disagrees with you on today, but you are convinced is going to be proven right in 5 years?
Almost everyone disagrees with me on. This is an interesting one because I don't think everyone disagrees with me on it currently. I think a large majority of the people I talk to disagree with me on it. I think you would agree with me on it. I think the leaders in the space currently would agree with me on it. But I think TikTok Shop is the beginning for like the absolute best brand awareness platform and method ever.
Most people would disagree with us on that. And that's,
yeah, because they see it as like, I need to make money on TikTok Shop, which is fine. That's a good byproduct of TikTok Shop. But I think the main thing is making money, actually like making money from the sales that get generated from the brand awareness that's generated from TikTok Shop, right? Brand awareness, the algorithm of TikTok Shop, TikTok is so good that it's showing the exact products that you don't know you want to buy until you see it and you buy it, which is what happens to me all the time. And again, I tell people this all the time. I'm not someone that buys anything ever, really, unless I absolutely need it. Like I wore my shoes the other day until the soles fell out of the bottoms of it. Then I was like, okay, I need new shoes, right? I don't have time to buy stuff. And I still buy stuff from TikTok Shop because I'll be on the app like once a week and it'll show me exactly like some workout device that, you know, I was like, oh, okay, I do need that because I'm in San Francisco. I don't have my workout stuff in San Francisco and I bought it, right? And like, I'm not even on the app. So how does it know that I'm thinking about that, you know? Brand awareness
it's just the most incredible AI that has been. Bora, I just want to say thank you for your time today. I'm going to have you on more of these in the future. Where can people find out more about you and reach out to Reacher?
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Jordan.
Absolutely. Sorry. Where though, Bora?
Oh,
I'm going to make a clip of this.
Okay. Yeah, you can reach out to me. I mean, I'm big on LinkedIn now, not as big as Jordan, but I'm like, you know, approaching the 6K follower mark. So you can find me on LinkedIn. You can reach me on email, bora@reacherap.com. You can find me on Twitter. It really is just Bora Mutluolu anywhere. If you can spell my last name, you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, any social media, if you can spell my last name. So
I will make sure all of that is down in the show notes. And for those of you guys watching on YouTube, check the links below. Highly recommend Reacher. You guys will always hear me talking about them. They are building faster and better than anybody else in the space. If you are on TikTok Shop, you need to use Reacher. It is the tool right now.
Thanks, Jordan.